Hey everybody, welcome to the Over the Bars podcast. I'm your host, Jeff Crutcher. We are live from the OTB News Desk right here in Lawrence, Kansas. Thanks for tuning in to WOTB. Today on Over the Bars podcast, it's going to be another hype episode of the Riverfront GP held in Van Buren, Arkansas. Today we're having special guest, very special guest, Mike Lorenz. Promoter of the Riverfront GP for 20 some odd years straight, Mike has brought you excellent off-road racing to the Arkansas and surrounding areas, only on Over the Bars right here. Stay tuned. OTB. Do you remember me talking to you last year at the races?
You know, I think I do. Okay. I had to. I guess when I got your message a while back, I was like, I think I remember this guy, but I couldn't quite place it.
Yeah. So I've done the race, let's see, 2 or 3 times before, but I used to, so back whenever they used to have motocross races out there in like 2002, 2003, I came down a couple times. Been a while. Yeah. So that's how I found out about the property. And then ever since then, it's been, a come down and ride type of deal, at least, whenever it was an open riding area, shit, dude, I'd come down a couple times a year.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was, that so many people, really, I hear that all the time, how much they miss riding out there, and it would be great to have the thing open again. It sure make my life easier, too.
Yeah.
It grows up quite a bit more now with it closed.
Yeah, absolutely. Got Mike Lorenz on the phone with the RFGP. Mike, dude, I don't know if you know this, but this is my favorite race of the year, and I hype the shit out of your event to everybody that I know.
Hey, man, I appreciate that. I listened to some of your previous podcasts, and it does sound like you enjoy the thing.
I do, because, okay. I've been racing dirt bikes since 1995, and it's been hardcore motocross for a really long time. Right. But I've always been a sand rider. Well, obviously, your event, as you claim, it says on the homepage, the home of 8 million whoops, and dude, that is no lie. So it's the perfect, right. For me personally, it is the perfect race. And we don't, in Missouri, the Kansas City area, we really don't have any sand. I mean, there's some, but not like you've got it down there. So, and as the website states, is the most motocross friendly woods race that there is within, however far. And that's what I try to get as many moto dudes into it. Try to get them to come down from all around, really, in every direction. I actually have people from California coming to your races this weekend.
Nice. That's awesome. We've got some guys from Colorado that come down almost every year, and a group out of Nebraska that come down. So, we really, in California will be now the farthest that we've really had. So that's going to be cool.
Yeah. How many entries did you have? Let's start with last year. How many entries did you have last year?
Yeah, last year we had, oh my gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was high 300s. It was like 370, 360, 370.
And is that Sunday only or Saturday and Sunday combined?
That's combined for the weekend.
Okay, cool. Hell yeah, man. Motocross races are, it's hard pressed to find a race with 300 entries nowadays.
Yeah.
And
we're, we usually have, that was kind of on the high end, but we're still usually in the high 200s, 260, 270, even on, I think 2015 was probably our lowest turnout of the last 15 years or so. And it was the year that, we had 200-year floods in the same year and had to move weekends. And in 24 years of this, that's the only time we had to reschedule. And we still had, I think, 220 riders, even having to move weekends.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's the bottom of the barrel right there.
Yeah. And have you been putting the race on for 23 years?
Yeah.
Damn, dude. How old are you?
Well, I'm actually just 44. I started this thing when I was young and stupid and really never thought it would go this far. The first year, I'm really surprised anybody came back the next year because none of us knew what we were doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, your soil sells itself is the thing.
Yeah. Well, it's such a unique place. I mean, like you said, it's not woods, it's not motocross, it's not enduro. It's like everything put together, and it's one of the few places that you can take a hardcore motocross guy and a hardcore enduro guy, and they're going to balance out because there's stuff that each of them are going to be good at, and other stuff that's going to be hard for both of them.
And that is one of the most fun aspects about the race. Like last year, Harrison Helmick and I, it's funny, we've grown up nearly the same age, 15 miles from each other. And I don't think I've ever knowingly rode with him because I'm moto, he's woods. We started next to each other at your race last year and started shooting the shit on the starting line and became buddies, and then had the most epic battle for like 4 laps long. As soon as we hit the woods, Harrison left me. And, I'm like, how could someone go so fast through the woods? But then we get out into open stuff where there's, you can time the rollers and the sand whoops and stuff. And dude, I was gone. So it was really cool to have that parity between a pro motocross guy and a pro woods guy on the same course.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's funny because that's something I've always put a real effort into doing when I'm laying it out, is trying to think, okay, have I done too much of the same thing for too long? So I'll try to, if I've been in the woods a while, then I'm going to go out and look for something open. So I've really tried to put an effort into that so that it's, it doesn't just happen by itself. It really was planned out to happen that way for you.
Yeah. And in 23 years, I mean, have you run the same loop twice?
No.
That's amazing. Because I mean, there's a motocross track here in Kansas City that's been the same track for 23 years.
Yeah.
And that, that's a huge attraction for me. And like, I don't know what it is about your race, Mike, but I'm always trying to sell it to people. Like, I guess I just got to pick one to really sell to people. And, over the last month or so, I'm texting guys. I'm like, hey, you want to be a man? Come do this race. I guess it's because, the West Coast has Day in the Dirt. The East Coast has the J-Day races. And, this is really the only one that's a hybrid of all off-road disciplines combined into one.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can literally, there's literally something for anybody. And that's not around here. I mean, especially even, I know you said up in your area, there's really not the sand, and it's not down here either. We're in a weird spot because, everywhere around here is nothing but hills and rocks and trees. And, we're just in this weird little hole right there by the river. And that, I've really never seen anything that's got that type of mix on a piece of property. And I've been racing for 30 years, and it's a really unique setup.
Do you still get to race this race, or ride afterwards, or what do you do?
I never have. That was one rule I learned from a guy that had been putting on races before me, and I had helped him one year, and he went out to pre-ride the course that morning and slipped on some wet grass and broke his collarbone.
Oh.
And spent all day limping around with that. And I said, you know what? I'm going to do my best to stay off a bike race weekend. And I've never raced the thing. I would love to, but I've spent a lot of time out there, and I think it's probably just as much fun. I can go out and lay out a section and ride it a few times and not really have to worry about it.
Yeah. Last year, pretty quickly into the race, we hit virgin single track that was not, that was just marked out with arrows. And I think I got a good start. I was in about third, and coming out of the woods, I was probably in eighth. And, but it was for me, it was cool because I was right behind Cameron Ishmael. and I'm watching, and I'm like trying to pick up on what he's doing, and then we broke out of the woods, and it was a different story. But that's one of my favorite things, is that it's, you get to do that. So you've got an 11 mile loop. Is that that's substantially long compared to most off-road races, is it not? I mean, I'm not
it really is. There's a lot of, and even the enduros in this area and up into Missouri are starting to use the sprint format, where there's 4 and 5, 6 mile loops.
Yeah,
and a lot of it is just harder to find. It's harder to find big pieces of land anymore.
Yeah.
So we're real fortunate there, and it's difficult to put that in there, because it's only 350 acres or so, and a lot of that is swamp. I mean, there's a lot of it that's not usable at all, other than last year when everything was usable. It was so dry.
Yeah, last year was really dry, and first lap dusty as shit. Second lap, totally different story.
Yeah,
the sand had turned over, but it was pretty dusty last year.
Yeah, that's not, the last 2 years, that's really not normal. It's odd that we've had 2 dry years in a row. So I'm excited to get back to normal this year, where there's a few places that I can't use because they'll stand in water on them, and that's fine. I've got lots of options, and I still pulled out 11 miles, even having to cut out some of the swampy stuff. And granted, I may have fudged a little in that last mile and a half, but it's close enough to 11.
What do you use to measure?
I just use my bike.
Oh, okay, because it's got an odometer on it.
Yeah, and I say that, the last few years I've started, I'll do a kind of a pre-layout on Google Earth, so I can get a rough measurement there, and it's pretty darn accurate. The Saturday loop that I laid out this year, I had measured out like 6.6 on Google Earth, and the bike came out to 6.9. So, it's pretty darn close.
Yeah. Who do you, have you heard any big name pro riders coming in?
I know Cameron Ishmael will be back up again this year. I think he's missed no races since about 2005. He's pretty much there every year. We've got a pretty consistent group there of the pros that are there just about every year. Josh Weisenfeld's won it last year, and I think that was his 5th win. Interestingly enough, from last I talked to him, he's not going to be able to make it this year.
Wow.
He's had some medical issues, so that's going to open that up. I know he and Steve Levan are tied for the most wins right now, and I think a lot of people were really looking to see that battle happen this year to break that tie, but they're going to have to wait a little longer.
Is Steve coming to the race?
Steve is a maybe. I talked to him last. I talked to him. He was in the middle of getting a couple of his last races put together this year, and he said, "We'll talk later, but maybe."
Steve hasn't hit 50 yet, has he?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't think so.
Dude, if I get my ass handed to me by a mid 40-year-old guy, that's my ego is going to be hurting. But I mean, okay, so I'm looking at the champion sheet here, and if you take out Josh winning in 2012, I mean, it's goes back to 2009 that you've had a different winner every year from 2009 to this year. That's and like, it's, you got really good competition with the Ozark 100 miler just 2 hours north of you on the same weekend.
Yeah. And it's, of course, they're a lot younger. They came in, I guess I think, what is this, their 10th year or so, 10th or 12th,
somewhere in there. Yep.
And it's a little different crowd. I mean, you got to be really hardcore, gnarly woods, rocks, and just nastiness to want to go up there. And a lot of, I would say probably a third of my pro class the last few years, they'll go do that on Saturday and then come down here on Sunday.
That's Ironman status. I would never do that.
That's serious crazy right there.
Have you ever done that race?
No, I have not.
Oh, you're a smart man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm. That's a little too serious for me.
Yeah. Well, so what's the selling point for? I want to hear it from you. You know, I want the people to hear it from the man. What is the selling point of the RFGP?
You know, it's a couple of things. It's the fact that it is truly a unique, one of a kind. You can't replicate the experience anywhere else. Not only for the course, but just the old school family race atmosphere of it. It's not, you know, people just seem to get along. I mean, you know, you see the guys on, you know, doing the team race, high fiving each other and stuff, and it's really a good, fun environment. And we give away tons of stuff too.
Yeah.
I've got a pile of stuff in my garage. You can't hardly get the car in the garage right now. And there's still more stuff coming from shops that they just deliver race day that they don't bother, you know, shipping it to me.
And, you know, that's, lest we not forget to mention that you've got the Saturday race, which is ATVs at noon. And then you do the Saturday bike race with the 225 sprint. Explain that, because I'm not familiar with it.
Well, this 225 sprint is something new I came up with, and I'm gonna see how the thing works out. I wanted to give that the afternoon bike race on Saturday really was originally intended to be either a kind of a warm up for Sunday, or just if you wanted to have some fun and only wanted to do, you know, an hour or so instead of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's a shorter loop. It's like a 7-mile loop. So then I put a couple of team classes on it, and the last few years we've had a bunch of the pro riders riding in these team classes on Saturday just to get some practice in, and of course smoking everybody.
Yeah.
So I thought, all right, we'll end that. No pros allowed in there, but I did this 225 sprint, which essentially it's 2 classes. You're going to get, it's about a 2-mile loop, single track only, and we're going to do 5 laps. And both classes are going to pay cash. No trophy, none of that stuff. We're just going to line you up, start them, and see what happens. And, you know, a quick little 10-mile run, just a really quick sprint, some fresh single track stuff that has not been touched yet.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, some of it I literally just was trimming yesterday of walking through the machete. So it's about as new as you can get.
Cool. And then you have, of course, the infamous night race at 6 p.m.
The night race. Yeah. Yeah. You just can't beat that thing. I mean, it's funny, and I've got the little story about it on the website, but God, it's probably 15 years ago now. Bobby Southard, who is the Riverfront guy, he won it the first year in '95 in the pro class,
mm-hmm.
and has not missed one since. He has been to every single one of them. Of course, now he's riding the 50 plus A class, but has never missed a race. I think I know he's the only one that's never missed one. So one year he and some friends came up, and this was back when he was still riding pro, and they had been somewhere on Saturday and they wanted to get a practice lap in, and it was like 9 o'clock at night. He said, you know, is there any way we can go ahead and do a lap? And I was like, yeah, sure. You got headlights, go for it. I think they'd just been, you know, they'd done Baja or something that year.
Yeah.
So they had all their lights set up, and it ended up being just like 3 guys, and I think the winner had to buy dinner for the other ones. And that's where that night race evolved from. It was like, hey, that seems like a good idea. So it's truly, you know, we get everybody up on the line. We let the guys that are racing decide, you know, how many laps they're going to do, which one of the courses we're going to use, and kick it off and go from there. And it's really turned into be kind of a fun little race.
That's cool. So it's not necessarily about, you know, finishing position or the race itself. It's just about getting to ride at night.
Exactly.
Cool. That's cool. I'm on board with that. So then Sunday. Oh, let's talk about sign up last year.
Yes.
I mean,
let's do.
Yeah. Okay, so
I'd rather forget about it, but if you want to talk about it, we can.
Let's talk about it. All right, so we had 12:30 was whenever the green flag was supposed to go, and I think that we took off at like 1:15.
Yeah, it was. I think we're about 10, 15 after 1. Just a whole host of things rolled into that. One, we had really, before last year, never had significant interest in pre-entries. We'd had 10 or 12, no big deal. I was using kind of a homegrown pre-entry system that caused extra work for our scoring guys. Things got weird last year because we had nearly, I think about 80 pre-entries, somewhere in the 60 to 80 range. And most of them happened on Thursday night. And that was probably the next thing that I screwed up. I didn't turn that off when I was supposed to at 5 p.m. So, it's 10 o'clock Thursday night, people still signing up.
Yeah.
And then when we had that large of a turnout, which was a little bit more than, little more than normal, it seems like everybody showed up at about the same time on Sunday. Nobody had entered on Saturday. And I think probably from 8 a.m. when we opened sign up till close to 10, there was nobody in line. And then about 10 o'clock, everybody decided to sign up at the same time. And it was like, holy crap, what do we do here? And I've got some pictures of that. This god awful line that's like a mile long into sign up. And we took a couple of steps to fix it this year. One, we switched over and using the Moto Tally, since that's what we're using for scoring. We're using their online sign up.
Okay.
And that works beautifully because when you go in there and pre-enter now, nobody has to do anything. You are in the database. So if you go on tonight and you sign up, boom, you're already in the database. All you got to do is walk up there. We're going to have a separate person with just the little transponder thing. Walk up there with your helmet, swipe it. It pulls up your name. They verify your name and you walk off.
Nice.
End of discussion.
Your race is the only one that I've ever done where I've come across the line and seen what place I was in at the line. That big TV that you've got, is that standard issue for off-road races?
That is actually the Arkansas Cross Country Series, AXC Racing. That is his standard process. He does all of his events with that. And that's one reason that we've partnered with them is they do a really exceptional job with their scoring. And their series is kind of, it fits that same concept that we like to promote. It's a good, fun family series. They don't get all political about everything and make it more work than it is fun.
Yeah. And yet they still manage a very professional program.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Cool.
But there's nothing like coming through that scoring check and seeing what place you're in. And if you look closer under that, it'll tell you how many minutes and seconds. It'll tell you how far behind the class leader you are too.
Okay. See, I came through and I saw those numbers or, glanced at them and it did I was kind of like, what are those numbers?
Yep. That's your time behind.
I have to ask you this. What is the Moto guys survival? Give the Moto guys survival tips for the GP.
Gas. Gas.
Yep.
Know exactly how much gas you're going to use. Make sure you stop appropriately. And don't overestimate how much you can get out of the tank because there is a lot of half and 3/4 and full throttle stuff out there that you're going to suck gas through that sand that you normally don't.
Yep.
So you got to accommodate for that. There's been many a pro class lost over running out of gas on the last lap because they thought they could make it.
Last year, or let's see, 2 years ago I'm sorry, 3 years ago, because I did not come whenever you had to do the reschedule. So 3 years ago, I was on a 450 SX and just to be safe, pitted every other lap. And I still had a pretty good amount of gas left. Couldn't have made it a third lap. Last year, I borrowed a 3-gallon tank from Cole Hensley, and I don't know what it was. It was a tank off of one of his dad's bikes that they put a regular gas cap on, that they had never run it before because they've got the quick fill system, but I don't. So they swapped over the standard gas cap, and the gas cap that they gave me, there was something wrong with it. And the bike started vapor locking as soon as I got out of the first corner. And I've never had a bike vapor lock on me, but I could just, it's just one of those things where I was like, I know what the bike's doing. It's vapor locking. So I yanked the hose off of it, and then it started to breathe. Well, whenever I did that, obviously it didn't have the backflow check valve on it.
Yeah.
And in the first lap, I think I lost a solid, 0.7 of a gallon.
Yeah.
Just from it splashing out on me.
Oh, easily, yeah.
And then, I still made it 3 laps off of one tank. So I was probably working with about 2.5 gallons in 3 laps. This year, I'm coming down on a 125 SX with the 2-gallon tank, the standard 2-gallon tank, 1.9, whatever it is. And I'm going to pit. I think I should easily be able to make it every other lap.
I would think.
I think so. I don't think it'll be an issue. The only other thing that I would, suggest to moto dudes that are coming, you do not need bark busters and you don't need hand guards, but hand guards are a good idea for whenever you do, and it is inevitable. Hit some sand rollers and get off of the course and get into those weird viney saplings out in the flat areas.
Yeah.
Because those things are like bull whips on your fingers.
That is very true. And there's, what those actually are is they're little cottonwood trees.
Okay.
And those things will literally, there is trail that we used last year that they'll be, 3/4 to an inch in diameter that they've grown up in a year.
Wow. Yeah. And they hurt.
Yes. Yeah. They will whip the crap out of you.
Yeah. Cool. Well, Mike, I think we got all the information that we need out of you. Anything that, you want to say about the GP, a final, word?
Hey, I appreciate you having me on the show. I appreciate everybody that has been, coming to this thing for 23 years now. Looking forward to this weekend and doing it one more time.
Oh, have you seen your pre-entry numbers yet?
I have not. I've been dropping them all in a folder on my Outlook, and I have not counted them yet. But I'm dropping 10 or 12 a day for the last, seems like, week straight. So
hell yeah, cool. Well, whenever we get off the phone, I'm gonna dial in my information here. So I'm looking at it. It says rider search. If I don't have my shit in the Moto Tally, because I don't think I've ever used them before.
Yeah, you'll be. Well, actually, it should pull you up from last year.
Okay.
Because I believe he backloaded it with my database from last year.
Oh, yep, sure is. I tapped it, and sure enough. All
and
right.
If you're not, anybody that's not in there, there's just a little click underneath there that says add new rider, and you just put in all your information.
Okay, cool.
The search feature saves you some time, so you don't have to type in all the crap. There you go. Your name's there, and you're ready to go. Choose your class and make it happen.
I'm on board with it.
Should be super simple.
I hope that we can get. What's the most pros you've ever had at one weekend?
I think 18. I think 18's. We seem to be running around 12 to 14. But I think 18s, we've never had more than 20, but I believe 18 was our biggest pro year.
Well, I've been doing your bidding to all of my pro rider friends. Part of it is I like a full gate or a full green flag. And the other part of it is I feel like I've got all my moto buddies beat and I want to whip up on them at the race that I'm good at.
There you go. That's it. And I tell you from a promoter standpoint, I love that full gate, and man, starting that first row, I could just at that point go home. I mean, the rest of it, who cares? But starting that first row is absolutely the highlight of my weekend.
Hell yeah. Cool. All right, brother. Well, hey, I appreciate you chatting with me, and I will see you on Sunday morning.
Sounds good. We'll be there.
All right. Take care, Mike.
Thanks, Jeff.
Yep. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Cool. The RFGP from the man himself, Mike Lorenz. I didn't want to take up too much of his time. And frankly, the Chiefs game is on right now, and I want to log out of this and tune into the game after halftime. So go to rfgp.com, pre-enter. There's still time. I can't remember when let me pull this information up here. Pre-entry closes 11:22, 5 p.m. using the Moto Tally system. If you go to rfgp.com, it's right here, bold in red, pre-enter here. Obviously, you don't have to pre-enter, but you can if you want to. It makes things a little bit easier. And for weather, I just checked. Here, I'm going to pull it up because I want to give you the most accurate information. Okay, Van Buren, Arkansas, which is just east of Fort Smith. Friday, 51 with a slight chance of rain. That's good for us because rain is good at the GP. Saturday, 64, partly cloudy. Sunday, 55, partly cloudy. That is the ideal temperature for this race. Absolutely. Tire setup, I'd go with a 3S, the Dunlop. If you're a Dunlop guy, or the Pirelli Scorpion 32s, those are the ideal tires. Soft compound, I wouldn't run a straight up sand tire, and the reason for that is there are some log obstacles, and there is a little bit of single track that you are running over logs with leaves on top of them. And I don't think that a sand tire would deflect really hard off any crossed logs, anything like that. Now, listen, when I say logs, I'm talking about maybe 8 inches around, but there is one feature on the track called the log. And the log is, it's a solid, 3 foot tall or so. It's a man's log. But we hit it every lap last year. It was pretty cool. Again, rfgp.com, get entered. And if you see Mike, he's a really smiley dude. He's got a big old grin on him, black hair. Talk to Mike. Tell him that you came, that you're a moto guy, and that, this is your first time, or this is your time back, or whatever. Tell him that you heard about the race on OTB. Just cause, why not? I'm not getting anything out of this. I'm not getting my pre-entry comped. I'm not getting anything. This is truly just one of those races where I want you, the listener, to come and enjoy yourself at one of the most coolest off-road courses, motocross, woods, enduro cross. Sand rollers, sand whoops, braking bumps, big ass bull corners, nice long start into a left-hander, dead engine start, so there's no gate, green flag, that kind of stuff. Last year they had the local news channel out there that filmed the start and some of the races, I think last year there was 12 or 15 riders in the pro class, and I hope to see more. I've got a couple moto dudes coming in. Brent Rouse from California that I met doing the outdoor nationals. He's coming in with his brother Dane and his dad and one of their buddies. And then Keaton McCallop out of Oklahoma. He's one of the Greg Albertson motocross experience guys. Keaton is going to come out. Peyton Adams on his brand new Honda 250F. He's coming down from Kansas City. Myself. I don't think that Nick Peterson's going this year. He just got off a vacation today on Monday night. But the standard issue. Let me go through some of the. Let me read through the pro results last year. RFGP info classes, 2013 plus results. Let me click the button right here. Stay with me. All right. Overall, AXC1. I think it's really cool that they call it XC1 instead of A Pro or AA Pro. I pushed the ATV button. Stand by. Okay, motorcycle AXC1. There was 13 riders. Josh Wiesenfels, Cameron Ishmael, Harrison Helmick. Harrison got a third. Matt Crouch, Hutton Woods, myself in sixth. Ooh, that got me raw that I didn't get fifth. I got passed on the last lap. Then Vince Metter, Jonathan Limbs, Noah Clark, Cole Hensley, James King, Conley McIlvain, and Nick Peterson, who blew up his bike on the first lap. So you had 13 riders last year. It was stacked. Maybe we can get a couple Texas guys up, some Oklahoma dudes, more of the moto scene. I got a hold of Dirt Bike Mike and let him know that this is popping off. I can't remember the payout, but I know it's hefty. It's a good payout, and it's if I remember right, it's a purse, not a percentage, and they pay the top 5. So come one, come all, pre-enter. RFGP, experience it. This year I'm going to be running my GoPro. So if you're looking for GoPro footage, there's one that's a couple years old from Alex Nagy. He came down to did the race and lost the GoPro on the first lap. Top mounted. That was kind of a mistake. He hit it on a tree limb, and it wasn't even a low hanging tree. It was just a random limb that knocked it off. But I'm going to run it on the front of my mouthpiece. I went and bought this cool mount. It's orange black, made by Dango Design, something like that. I actually bought it off of Amazon, but it got the job done. So we'll see you there. Also, thanks to our sponsors, Kansas Motocross Championship Series, Donnell's, Suzuki, Honda, Can-Am, and more. Bar to Bar MX in Wichita, Kansas. Bar to Bar is excited to hoist the 2018 KMCS Track of the Year Award once again. Great job to Bruce. Great job to the KMCS crew for having, I forgot to mention this, but they had almost 400 people at the banquet last weekend. Fantastic job. And I know the Donnells is getting some new Hooskies in the door. So if you're interested in some bikes, go over there. And we will see you at the GP. Surprise, surprise. Brent called me right after I got off the phone with Mike. And now welcome to Over the Bars podcast, Brent Rouse.
Thank you.
Do you feel like you're cooler than as if you were on the phone with Pulp MX?
I actually do. Like at one point I thought, screw making the race at Glen Helen. I hadn't made it until I got that phone call. So I called you in and was told that I'm going to be on. Now I think I officially made it.
Yeah, you calling me was like the luckiest thing that you've done in a while. Good timing.
Well, yeah, because at one time you told me, hey, you're going to be on Over the Bars, and you know, that was just a hoax, and nothing really happened. So
I didn't snake you. I didn't snake you. It just didn't work out.
I guess. I was almost at your hometown, too, and then I had to drive all the way to California to get a call to get on.
Hey, did you pre-enter for the RFGP?
No, I didn't know I was supposed to.
You can if you want to.
How much are we saving?
You're saving $0. You're only saving time.
We got nothing but time, player.
Yeah, that's true. California. Yeah, that's true.
I'm getting there on Wednesday morning, so I got nothing but time. I'll show up early. I don't even know where I'm going, so I'm probably going to leave at like 9 o'clock to get there at 10 just so I can look around.
Well, you know, we'll be teaming together.
Are we doing a team race? I was doing it with my dad. I was really
No. Like, well, I'm sorry. We'll be driving there together because I'm gonna.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me and my chick are gonna come down on Saturday.
Oh, Oh, so then I know. Then I guess I won't leave at 9 o'clock then.
Oh, I plan on getting there nice and early and getting a good pit spot on pit road, and setting everything up. And I was going to tell you this. Whoever is in the pit area, whether it's you, your dad, your brother, or who's your brother racing with?
Just a friend of ours out there.
Okay, cool. Well, your buddy, whatever sequence of you boys are in the pit area, you guys are going to be my pit guys, because I'm going to have to pit every other lap.
Okay.
Because it's...
do you have like a fast fill up gas can like they do in the works races, or are you going to do this with a beer bong funnel? Dump it in there?
Nah, dude, you just use a regular ass moto gas can.
Well, I was saying for yourself, we're just going to beer bong some water right down to you.
I'm actually going to ride with a water bag.
Yeah, so I've seen videos of this race, and I think I've got myself into some... this is definitely going to be some GNCC style stuff for me. I mean, as far off-road I've gotten with Boma, and we just have massive jumps and not a tree in sight. So, yeah, this was... I think I underestimated how many trees were in the first half of this thing.
Well, okay, whenever you go back and you listen to this podcast, you will hear Mike talking about how he specifically creates the course every year to be split between moto and woods, and he doesn't give anybody an advantage, where he was telling me that it's like, he'll be in the woods for a little bit, and he's like, okay, that's enough of that. Let's pop out into the open and hit some sand rollers.
Well, as we all know, sand rollers are not my thing either, so we'll be struggling, full track, I guess, to me.
Hey, well, you're one step ahead because you already run handguards.
Oh, I know, I always do. Although, believe it or not, I've been too lazy to put them on the practice bike, so I've been going to Milestone 3 days a week without handguards, and believe me, every time I get behind someone, I'm afraid, so I swerve out of the way. I'm a handguards at all times kind of guy.
I respect that.
I'm not running bark busters, and that's what scares me now, because, if I run handguards all the time just for normal riding, I need some massive bark busters for anything near a tree.
Well, I think you'll be all right. I mean, really, see, the thing is you don't get that close to the trees in this race, but you do. There are tiny little saplings that will whip your hands if you barely get off of the course, and that's where the real danger lies. But if you run some handguards, then you've got no fear.
Well, you got to remember, I'm blind in one eye here, so we might be getting off the course a little.
You might.
We might. That's all right. I mean, it won't be any worse than me at Millville on the sand roller, so we'll be all right. We'll get it done.
At the very least, you can rely on your good bike setup.
Yeah. We got MX Tech going, so they're out of Wisconsin. So I think we should be way more suitable for this race than I was coming from California settings to Minnesota. So my new and improved bike setup should give me the advantage I need on you. Even though you'll be power deficit for me, my handling will just bring me to the next level.
Well,
that's what I'm planning on here.
I mean, you do realize that we don't take off on the same wave because you're right. Well, shit. You know what? I don't know exactly how. Fuck. I meant to ask Mike how the team starts work. If you take off with your skill class, or if you take off in the team waves. Dude, I don't know the answer to that.
Yeah, I don't know. Mike's not going to be happy when I sign up for current AMA Pro with 50 beginner/novice. I don't think that's a class that was ever designed or ever will be designed, but that's me and my dad. That's what we're hitting. 50 beginner/novice with current AMA Pro.
Well, I mean, but did you see the requirement? Did you read the rules on their website?
No, I'm from California. We don't do that. We just show up and jump into things like it's day in the dirt. We just jump on and race them all.
Okay. Says it right here. Team classes, please respect the skill level rules posted on the classes page. Anyone protested and verified as breaking these restrictions will be disqualified. No exceptions. Okay, now here's the thing. Team, 2-hour race, 2 riders, okay? And you can have max 1 pro. All right, so you guys will ride either the family team or the amateur team. And you can have 1 pro rider and one non-pro rider. So you'll have to pick whether you're amateur team or family team.
We'll probably go family because we're family. Just stick it right where it belongs.
Yeah. Team Rouse.
There you go.
Patchmaster.
Patchmaster, Team Rouse, both the same thing. Dad owns both of them.
And you know that you get it whenever you guys enter. You get to come up with a silly name for your team too.
Oh, we do?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It can't be a serious name?
It can be a serious name if you'd like.
It can't be like the Boburger Mid-Cities Patchmaster Racing Honda team?
I guess it could be, but that's kind of, I don't know, that's kind of lame.
Yeah, it's too professional.
Okay, so last year, all right, so the Hot Route 2 team got, let's see, Motorcycle Team Open. Oh, okay, here we go. So the team takes off on the 8th wave. Okay, so you'll be the 8th wave. I'll be the first wave, you'll be the 8th wave.
Oh, I better not catch you. I have to go through 7 waves before I can get to you.
And you will, let's see, yeah, I got beat by 4 teams last year.
You're running by yourself?
Yeah, in like the motorcycle overall, I got 10th, and I got beat by 4 teams, yeah.
There are a lot of really fast dudes out there that race these like GMCs.
I don't know about that. I really don't know. And I don't know. See, this doesn't... Fuck, man. I don't have any
How many
answers.
people usually come to this on hand?
He said last year that it was over 300, 350, something like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So just a nice, good amount of racers.
Yeah. I mean, hey, I'm fine with the least the better, because coming from California, the day in the dirt is so packed. It's like sitting in LA traffic on the 405 just out there at doing the team race that day in the dirt. Like, Burntown is so packed everywhere you go, you're just sitting in traffic.
Nah,
it's not
dude.
even like enjoyable.
Nah, you're good. I mean, this will be like a ghost town for you.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm pre-entering right now as we speak.
Yeah, so the team race is Sunday, so what's Saturday?
Okay, allow me to tell you. Saturday is they have a race at 1:00 that's called a 225 sprint. That's where you have there's 2 classes, either expert or amateur. You race 2 miles of the course, 5 laps. And then there's they run the quads, so like ATV Pro, all the way down through. So there's about 12 different ATV classes that they run Saturday morning, and then Saturday afternoon they do a couple special bike races, including a night race at 6 p.m.
Not for me.
No, you don't have a headlight.
Nighttime and me don't go well at all together.
Yeah. So, how's your shoulder recovery coming along?
Oh, we're all good. We like I said, I rode when I came back at the Transworld Slam. I did like the morning practice, and I ended up landing on some kid out there. So I was kind of like, maybe that's a sign that I shouldn't really. Plus, my shoulder is still a little sore from it, but that was the week after we came home from Indiana. So everything's been fine. I've been riding a lot. I got the practice bike back going. We found out that the decompression little thing on the cam was stuck open, and there was so much compression in the motor the Kickstarter wouldn't come down. So once we fixed that, we've been going at it 3 days a week again.
Yeah.
I've been working with the MX University guys here in SoCal, and we've just been going at it.
Hell yeah, dog. Glad to hear that.
Yeah, because I gotta pick it up. I can't go from my awesome performance of a 38-34. That's my best and worst performance in a pro race ever, and to not qualifying after that. So we need to pick it up. I at least need to go from qualifying the first three, the SoCal or the Southern California or Western Southern states. Because when I go up to Washougal, I suck. So that's why I didn't say the West Side, because I'm not good up there. So this year, Washougal sucks. So I'm more focused on, if I'm going to do really good, at least do good at Hangtown and Glen Helen, Colorado. I feel like that's where I should do good at.
Maybe you should drop down to 250 for a couple of those races and just automatically.
I should, but I don't have a 250 anymore.
Oh, I was gonna say you could just fall into the fast 40.
I know that's what we thought about so many times. My dad goes, "Man, should we just go out and buy a brand new 19 250 and just run it stock? Because I'm sure you can beat one guy on a stock bike, and just qualifying like that."
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, but then you got to go out and buy another bike. It's like your third one in a couple of years. So I was in like a year. So I was like, I don't know if we want to do that. I was like, I'd rather just work hard and start making it in the 450 class.
Yep, I'm with you.
So, but I'm with you there too. I mean, it kind of bothers me sometimes. Like we go to Washougal and I see everyone besides one guy didn't make it, and the one guy's bike flew up on the first lap of practice. So I was like, oh, so everybody made it.
Yeah, that'll chap your ass.
Yeah, that's where the 150 Husky would have came in perfect, because you would have made it and then been the new stink dog in that class.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to the I'm going to try to do a couple of the 125 dream races. Did we talk about this?
Yeah, we did. I told you that I have some inside there and you have some inside, so we're going to try to do, because Dane's going to do them. Dane was invited to a couple of them last year. So, but we didn't want to drag a 125 around with them. So this year with the new trailer, the new Bow Burger trailer we have, we're going to tow around 2 125s and 2 252 strokes and then 2 450s.
Okay. I'm on board with that.
We'll be ready for anything.
Yeah, you are. You know what you should do next? Oh, shit. They don't have the race at Tennessee. Dude, do you know how mad I was whenever I beat the kid on amateur day that won the $10,000 check during the 2-stroke race at Tennessee?
Oh, at Indiana?
No, at Tennessee.
Oh, Tennessee. That kid, the kid who won that? Yeah, because the 2 leaders, didn't they crash?
So I don't know what happened. I didn't watch the race, but he won it, got himself a $10,000 check, and then got 4th or 5th in the 250A class on Sunday.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I know there's this kid from south of the border there. I forgot his name. He got 3rd in that class. But man, when we went to south of the border to train this summer, that kid was so fast we couldn't keep up with him. But then I thought he would go out there and win, but that didn't happen.
Funny how that works.
Well, when you live at south of the border and it's the only track you ride, you'll be pretty damn good at it.
Yep. I'm with you. Well, Dane, I'm sorry. I'm reading your brother's name right now. Brent, my apologies.
Why did Dane text you?
No, I'm filling out the shipping label with your shit, and I typed his name into it along with yours.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
He does a lot of the bike builds, so it goes through both our names anyway.
Cool. Hey, thanks for being on OTB very quickly.
Oh, no problem, man.
Is there a reason that you called me?
Yeah, I called you regarding the label that I hadn't got, if I should bring the parts with me, and then we figure something out that way, or what?
No, I've just been working my little fingers off at FedEx, dude. Today I was supposed to work, a nice little 8-hour shift, and that turned into a solid 12.
Nice.
So,
speaking of this weekend, So your girl and you are coming over. So that sounds good to me. We love that idea. What are you guys coming in the morning, afternoon, night, late at night?
She gets off work at 5, and I believe it's like four and a half down there. So we're looking at probably arriving at 10 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, no problem.
Yeah.
Then you can sleep in.
Yeah, and what's the name of the town that your house is in?
Bella Vista. It's the very first off ramp when you cross over the Missouri line into Arkansas.
Sick. Let's see. That is 3.5 hours, and then from Bella Vista to
Fort Smith, like what, 2?
I even have the address of the track. One and a half hours to the track from Bella Vista.
Yeah, we have time to wake up and go get a breakfast in the morning before we even get there.
Plan on it, dude. Plan on it.
I mean, Steak and Shake is cheap and easy, and it's always there.
I will not be going to Steak and Shake for breakfast.
You don't like Steak and Shake?
Not really.
Wow, like everyone I've ever brought to Steak and Shake, we love it because we don't have one in California. So it's like when people go to In-N-Out, like everyone thinks In-N-Out's great, but I don't. It's whatever. But I think Steak and Shake's awesome because we've never had one.
There's a new sheriff in town for those kind of deals. There's a place here called Freddy's that's a steak burger place. It's like
I've seen that a lot. There's one in our town too.
Okay, Freddy's blows out of the water Steak and Shake.
Do they have breakfast too?
It's a good question. I don't know.
So where do we go to breakfast in the middle of the country?
Waffle House.
Ooh, I love Waffle House. I won't turn a Waffle House down.
And there's also.
Did I tell you the story that this summer was the first time I went to a Waffle House?
Yeah.
Yeah, because my dad's like, we had to stay in super nice hotels and had to eat in nice restaurants because he says he won't sleep in the trash can or eat in one. Anything else, he can hang out in the trash can, but he won't sleep and eat in one.
Yeah.
So that was our motto growing up. So this summer when me and Dane veered out on our own, Brandon Sharon and Ryan Stratt both said, oh, you need to go to Waffle House. I said, I don't know, that's pretty dirty, We're just like so shell-shocked to not go to these places. And then he goes, no, like, we got going. So I'm going in, I'm trembling, coming in the door. I don't know what to expect. I've never been to one of these establishments. I come in, I sit down. We're in Fayetteville, North Carolina, which is not the cleanest area in the first place. And we sit down, we get this meal, and it was incredible. They told me, but I don't know if this is true, that the dirtier they are, the better they taste.
I'd agree with that. Actually.
It's like a Mexican place, they said. Any Mexican food place in Southern California, the dirtier it is, the better the food is.
Yeah. I once saw at Waffle House the lady that was making the iced tea pour coffee grounds into the iced tea bucket.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
So it was just a cold press coffee then?
Practically, yeah. Uh-huh.
A cold brew.
Yeah, pretty much.
Hey, those are hot ticket around here.
Yeah, dude, people pay top dollar for that kind of shit.
I know. She was just on it before you knew what she was doing.
Man, I need to. Yeah, I should have got her number.
You should have.
Yeah.
All right, so we can hit a Waffle House. So your girl, she'll be in pit road, so she doesn't want to help be the pit road lady?
She'll have my goggles and gloves ready for swap out.
You swap them out every single time?
I might.
Why gloves?
I like fresh gloves, man. I like fresh gear. I like fresh gloves. There's just something about riding with gloves that don't get sweaty.
So you know what? It's weird. I will wear the same gloves over and over and over and over. So when I get my FXR stuff every year, they'll send me a bunch of gloves, but like I'll always fall back to the same set, whatever time of the year, like whatever one they gave me. I always kind of run neon orange gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm super like I don't like bright colors. Me and you talked about that before.
Yep.
I don't like bright gear colors or anything, but I like bright neon orange gloves. It's weird. Don't ask me why. It's kind of like Wilson with his red gloves. I just have always liked bright gloves, either neon orange or neon yellow.
Now whenever I'm gonna have to go to your Instagram and look at photos of you riding and see if this is true.
Yeah, in the one that I just posted today, me strapping on a set of gloves. They're neon orange gloves with my red gear and white helmet and white boots and white neck brace. White's my thing. White. If I can run all white everything with neon orange gloves, that'd be a sweet setup.
Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, and I usually never match my gloves to my gear.
Oh, I never do. No,
why.
Absolutely not. Cannot do that.
Yeah, do you drop your helmet when you get them too?
Absolutely, yes.
One time at a track, I dropped it, landed right on a rock, chipped a huge chip off the back of the helmet.
I'm a little careful with it whenever I do it.
No, I didn't think about that. Someone else said the same thing, like, hey, like, you're in a rocky area, and there's sand over there, and there's grass over there. Why did you drop it here? And I was like, Dad, I just thought this was the place. Like, it just came out the bag, drop it, and I was like, I probably should have thought that through.
That was a giant miscue.
We took out a Bubba Burger sticker out of the box, slapped her on there, and that's how she ran for the rest of her life.
It was as good as out of the helmet bag first time.
Oh, nobody ever knew because me being the Bubba Burger guy, they just thought that sticker was printed into the helmet.
Brent, I hate to get off the phone with you, but I got to watch this fucking Chiefs game, brother.
Oh, I forgot you're a foosball fan.
I am, and it's Monday. It's
Monday. Foosball's the devil. That's what I was told.
It is. It's Monday Night Football. Chiefs and LA Rams. That's your team by default, by the way.
No. My team is the NASCAR race that was on Sunday, so yesterday.
I know, but just by proximity of where you live, you are default a Los Angeles Rams fan.
Well, I'm moving to a town that doesn't have one, right?
Correct. The Chiefs will inherently be your new team.
Well, actually, before I get off the phone with you, we may be moving to the Missouri side of it, of the line right there.
Oh, so really?
I guess in reality, we would be, I guess, no, because we're not Kansas. Is it Kansas or is that a Missouri team? Because isn't there Kansas City, Missouri, and Kansas City, Kansas?
They play in Kansas City, Missouri, but either way, it's just the Kansas City Chiefs because the metro area is split in half by the border. Yeah, so it's both. You got a little bit of both.
Got it. All right. Well, I'll let you get back to your foosball. Thanks for having me on the podcast here.
Yeah, man. A little impromptu call in works every time.
All right, man. Take it easy. I'll see you this weekend.
Excellent. Goodbye.
All right.